Minds Beyond Measure, a bullying prevention initiative for college campuses. Hello, I'm Sergeant Howell, and I serve as a supervisor in the Uniform Patrol Division of the Norfolk State University Police Department. In my role, it's important to demonstrate civil and inclusive behavior when interacting with faculty, staff, students, internal and external customers of the university, and the community at large. It is my responsibility to promote a flexible, collaborative, and inclusive work and living environment, as well as create educational opportunities that increase awareness and understanding of diversity and inclusion. I strive to demonstrate an ongoing commitment to diversity, inclusion, and social justice by addressing the needs and concerns of the citizens. This presentation is designed to educate and empower our incoming freshman students to interact comfortably with other members of the campus community. Each student should be challenged and encouraged to lead a life free from bullying, violence, and all other potentially harmful behaviors. In a higher education environment, it is essential to implement proactive programs and resources that are designed to minimize or prevent the harmful effects of bullying. About bullying. The term bullying is often associated with abuse or mistreatment, which can influence an individual's view of self in a way that makes them feel less than. In the traditional sense, bullying is a common activity that occurs among adolescent teens and young adults. Cyberbullying is a 21st century problem that affects many youths throughout their educational careers, continuing for some even into adulthood. Cyberbullying. Cyberbullying is an activity that takes place on many college and university campuses. With more technology available now than ever before, bullying has frequently transitioned to a technology-based platform. Because victimization is associated with issues such as depression, withdrawing from school, and suicide, a valid measure of cyberbullying is key for students' affairs and higher education assessment researchers interested in studying students' health and safety. Institutions invest a significant amount of time, money, and research into evaluating incidents that impact the well-being of the students. A key difference between traditional and cyberbullying is the fact that cyberbullying does not entail any physical contact between the bully and the victim. Although this is not a requirement for traditional bullying, which can be verbal or relational, cyberbullying does not have any physical aspects. The safety and security of each student is a high priority for the faculty and staff of the university. Universities have a legal responsibility to take reasonable care to minimize the risk of injury to students, foster a harassment-free learning environment, and offer resources for victims. Welcome to the college experience. As a new college student, freshman students are afforded the opportunity to experience intellectual growth, creativity, discovery, process, and evaluation as it pertains to personal and professional development. Although the freshman experience is an exciting time, being a new student on a college campus can still be intimidating to many first-year students. Campus climate is defined as the manner with which university students perceive and feel about the social relations that occur in and out of the classroom. Since specific characteristics of a culture, such as the level of individualism, can influence how students perceive their psychosocial campus climate, when this perception is negative, there is a greater tendency for these students to be involved in bullying situations. Staying on track. College is often referred to as a melting pot, consisting of people with a wide range of personalities and backgrounds. College students often compare themselves to others, and they measure their success based upon where they think they should be in life. The process of self-discovery is a journey that is often challenging due to a wide number of influences that students are faced with. Your identity is whatever makes you feel the most significant. What makes you feel the most significant is what you put the most weight upon. Peer victimization. Colleges and universities aim to provide safe communities for students to collaborate and receive an education. The idea of peer victimization is a concept that has been more heavily researched in regard to children and adolescents. However, peer victimization is basically just harmful behavior performed by one college student to another college student. Colleges and universities are increasingly concerned about respect for diversity and tolerance of individual differences on their campuses. College students have access to a variety of social media platforms and other technology-mediated channels of communication. In traditional bullying, a bystander was identified as someone who stood by and watched someone get bullied, or someone who had knowledge of bullying that was taking place and made the choice to do nothing. With cyberbullying, there is often a much larger audience that is able to observe and falls into the role of bystander. Another role that has been adopted by many people, especially on social media, is the role of the upstander. The upstander feeds into the activity of the aggressor, often supporting or reaffirming the message that victimizes another student. What many students fail to realize is that by supporting the aggressor, they are further victimizing the student who is being targeted. In a higher education environment, there are faculty, students, and staff members who hold on to the belief that bullying and cyberbullying is more of a concern for youth rather than young adults. There are studies and research that would actually suggest that bullying and cyberbullying experiences have a likelihood to increase in a college environment. The tendency to deny or minimize cyberbullying in college may impact its form, creating more ambiguous or subtler kinds of aggression in college that can interfere with pro-social engagement and enable bystanders to rationalize moral disengagement. Cyberbullying can be particularly damaging to a student's perception of self. In the event that the community at large fails to express disagreement with the statement or position of the aggressor, the victim may perceive that as supporting the views of the aggressor, which may result in feeling further victimized. The Victims' Bill of Rights is intended to ensure that crime victims have opportunities to make the courts aware of the full impact of crime, are treated with dignity, respect, and sensitivity, and have their privacy protected, are informed of their rights, receive authorized services, and are heard at all critical stages of the criminal justice process. Is bullying against the law? Bullying is not considered a crime according to the Code of Virginia. However, many actions that are associated with bullying are criminal offenses. Offenses include, but are not limited to, threats, harassment, extortion, assault and battery, robbery, and hazing. Cyberbullying occurs regularly in college student communities, and it's important for students to be educated about the law and the possible consequences their actions could yield. A world in which people have the freedom to love and perform great acts of kindness is also a world in which people have the freedom to hate and commit great acts of evil. Students must make decisions every day, and sometimes those decisions are made with limited knowledge. Ignorance of the law is not justification for wrongdoing, and everyone is held accountable for poor decisions they make that cause harm to someone else. The Norfolk State University Student Code of Conduct does not address bullying specifically. However, several bullying behaviors are identified as conduct violations. Bullying behaviors addressed by the University Student Code of Conduct are harassment, hazing, retaliation, threatening behavior, vandalism, stalking, theft, sexual misconduct, dating violence, and unauthorized recording and/or distribution. Let's take a progress check to see how much you've retained. In Virginia, what does the Crime Victim and Witness Rights Act provide to victims of a crime? Is it A, the right to recommend specific punishments for wrongdoers? B, opportunities to be heard at all critical stages of the criminal justice process and to make courts aware of the impact of crime on them? C, the right to sue the criminal and co-defendants? Or D, the right to collect restitution? The correct answer is B. Opportunities to be heard at all critical stages of the criminal justice process and to make courts aware of the impact of crime on them. What if someone doesn't know the law and they commit a crime unintentionally? Is the answer A, there's no probable cause? B, the case will go to a grand jury? C, the person is still guilty of a crime? Or D, the magistrate will determine the level of responsibility? The correct answer is C. The person is still guilty of a crime. Remember, ignorance of the law is not justification for wrongdoing. There are a variety of resources available on campus, including the Counseling Center, the Dean of Students Office, the Office of Student Conduct, the Military and Veteran Services Office, Police and Public Safety, Housing and Residence Life, International Student Services Office, and the Office of Accessibility Services. Call to action. Remember, all actions associated with bullying are harmful, regardless of how those actions are manifested. Be mindful that bullying is often associated with an increased risk of use in tobacco, alcohol, or drugs among college students. If you ever experience bullying or cyberbullying, be sure to gather as much evidence as you can to ensure that any claims you make are properly supported. An example, video, audio recording, screenshots, emails, text messages, etc. If you observe someone being bullied, intervene if you are able to do so in a safe and non-escalating manner. Remember, many bullying behaviors you may encounter can take the form of criminal offenses such as assaults, threats, stalking, invasion of privacy, and property damage, which should be reported to the Norfolk State University Police Department. Thank you. I appreciate your keen interest to this webinar. Your willingness to follow with undivided attention is evidence of your commitment to maintaining a safe and inclusive campus community. Please be sure to complete the post-webinar survey. Your time and effort is greatly appreciated.